Well, on that note, Matt, calling, Republicans, conservatives, all sorts of things that they clearly are not. Representative Ilhan Omar couldn't help but compare President Trump to the dictators that she claimed she lived with while in Somalia. Here's her on that.
I grew up in a dictatorship. And I don't even remember ever witnessing anything like that. To have a democracy, a beacon of hope for the world to now be turned into one of the worst countries where the military are in our streets without any regard for people's constitutional rights.
Constitutional rights to what? Burn cities down?
Dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade.
Failed dictator?
It is really shocking,
like
and it should be a wake-up call for all Americans to say this is not
Ilhan
the
Omar.
country we were born in. This is not the country we believe in. This is not the
You
country
weren't born
our
here.
fathers imagined. And this is not the country that is supported by our Constitution, our ideals, our values. And we should all collectively
I will not
be
be lectured to by someone who was not even, you were not even born here. You were not even born here. You don't get to lecture me on what President Trump does and whether or not it's a dictatorship. And it's just so laughable when you look at, compare what President Trump has done so far compared to Somalia. Okay, he revoked DEI, foreign aid, like over 100 Biden-era policies. He, started mass deportations, declared a national emergency at the border, used Doge to cut a shit ton of money and positions, pulled from the WHO Paris Climate Accords, pardoned some of these J6ers, pro-life advocates. Doesn't sound very dictatorish to me. Meanwhile, over in shithole Somalia, you had over in 2006, the Islamic Courts Union took control of Somalia, most of it, and strictly enforced Sharia law. You had an extremist group in 2011 challenge the Somalian government for control, and this was Al-Shabaab, and through Sharia law enacted executions, forced amputations. If you stole or if you violated the dress code, you got your appendages chopped off. Heavily restricted media and education. And in 2020, Amnesty International reported that several press members in Somalia were living in perpetual fear. Oh, wow. Sounds just like President Trump's second term, you dumb. President Mohammed Abdullah Mohammed in 2021, say that 3 times fast, signed a law to extend his term in office and wouldn't leave. But yeah, no, totally. Yes, this is just like Somalia. Totally like Somalia, where President Trump is trying to protect American citizens and roll back regulations rather than cut people's hands off when they steal.
Sarah, I was in a movie called Black Hawk Down, which was set in Somalia, because that happened in Somalia. Yeah, they murder people in the streets. That's what they do. It's a war-torn country. It has been for, I don't know how long, at least 3 decades. This is absurd. I said this the other day, and I maintain it. By the way, I never take any offense at when you talk about not being born here, because
I know you don't.
I know that I wasn't born here, and I understand, by the way, that I don't think that anyone that is foreign born and becomes a citizen of this country should hold office. I do not think. In fact, I'm all down for leaving it 3 generations actually until they could hold office. It's unbelievable that people get to come from shithole countries. They are shithole countries. Somalia is a shithole country. Haiti is a shithole country. It is. Chastising and lambasting Trump for telling the absolute and utter truth, right? You don't get to come to America and say how bad it is and start lecturing other Americans on it. I mean, I'm very, very... even myself, coming from the UK, I'm very cognizant and respectful of other Americans because I know that I came here as a guest and I'm very grateful for it. But this woman, look, she needs to be investigated anyway. Why people haven't investigated her to see whether she lied when she became a citizen, I don't know.
She married her brother?
You think it's a bit of a problem, right?
According to my standards, yeah.
And what is it with these women, by the way, who would be bitch slapped in the countries they came from, told to shut the bleep up? See, see, she swears. I don't swear anymore. I'm such a
just
better
said
person.
shithole.
I didn't say though.
You just did.
But
Yeah.
they come here and then instead of being grateful that they have these freedoms, they're like, you know what? I'm going to turn it into the shithole I just came from.
Right.
It's unbelievable. She's pandering because basically where she comes from in it's Michigan, right? Yeah. Where she comes, Dearborn. Is it Dearborn? That's
No, it's Minnesota. It's Minnesota.
It's Minnesota,
Yeah.
but you know, it's mini Somalia out there.
it is.
In both of those areas, actually, it's a major problem.
It is.
So what you've got is she's playing to a demographic because what they've done, which is what we always warn against, is they allow people to come in en masse and create their own little ghettos. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening when what they should be doing is integrating into American society.
I mean, or just go back to your shithole country. That's fine. I won't hurt my feelings. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.